Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Arden. One more time, welcome back. Now, I want to talk about something. Let me see something right here. Is this going to be cool? No, let's leave it like this. I want to talk about something. And this has been on my mind for the past month or so. Right there, you see in front of you is the Hasbro has what they call the Haslab. Now, what that means is that every year there's a special project they do. Now, this special project is basically for collectors, and it's designed for collectors. And it's a little bit pricey. It is. But first thing is this is for G.I. Joe Classified, the 6-inch figures. Now, when I was a kid, I did have the Dragonfly helicopter. I did. Loved that. I loved that to death. Loved it to death. So let's take a look at it a little bit. As you can see, the price is $274.99. Okay. As you can see at this point in time, as I'm filming this, there's only 1 hour left and 28 minutes. Now, the thing is, this is what they call crowdfunding. Now, if you don't understand crowdfunding, you probably heard of Kickstarter or Indiegogo, where you basically put money up, you invest in the product yourself. Now think about this. Hasbro is a multi-million or billion-dollar company. Why do they need to crowdfund this? A lot of people are saying that. Why do they need to crowdfund it? They could just make it themselves and put it on the shelf. But the problem is they couldn't sell it, but they couldn't get it for this price. If I saw this at Target or Walmart, I would have passed up on it. I'm like, oh no, that's too much. But for the crowdfunder, why would I back this? Okay, well, right now the target was, as you can see right here, the target is only 10,000. They only asked for 10,000 backers, and as you can see at this point now, with 1 hour left, let me say, it's 24,000 backers. This funded in 1 day. This thing funded in 1 day. 10,000 people signed up for it in 1 day. And this is like a month. Now, thing is that I waited and waited and waited on this. Okay. So let's take a look at what it does. Let's take a look at it a little bit. Let's see some of the pictures. Looks nice right there. Looks nice there. Looks nice. Those light up. Yes, it does. Automatically comes with Wild Bill, which is one of my favorite Joes back in the day. Like I said, I had the Dragonfly, I had Wild Bill. I loved it in the comic book. I loved the toy. I loved everything. So now, if you get this, you get Wild Bill automatically. That's a Steel Brigade, which is a separate thing, but it's kind of fine. It's a nice looking figure. And the funny thing is that they put so much emphasis on this, but the regular releases, they kind of like lit like a daisical. But then again, you gotta think about when you're making thousands of these of figures, there's gonna be some quality control issues. But for this, especially made, so there's 24,000 backers, but we don't know how many. So you have to assume there's only going to be 24,000. But some people bought 4 to 5 because they want to sell this. It's over 2.5 feet long. This is the computer mock-up. Now, also, if you remember the G.I. Joe cartoon, the Dragonflies was all over that for the first couple of years. It comes with blast effects too, so that way it looks, you could And the stand is nice looking and everything. So let's scroll a little bit down here. That's the stand itself, which is fine. This is all it comes with. That's just the basic. You need 10,000 backers, but as you see, it's over 20. It's over double that. Look at those dimensions. That's a huge boy. Some people I could see they bought 3 or 4 of these. Of course, they'll probably sell it for like $400 to $500, but that's fine. Working rotor blades, fine. Comes a Wild Bill. Oh, there's my TikTok notification. It looks like someone tried to hack my Facebook account. It looks like someone tried to hack my Facebook account again. Okay. But you see what this is Wild Bill, what it comes with, which is kind of cool. This little video shows you all the features, which is fine. Blah, 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 blah. Now, this is where it gets different. If it reaches a certain amount of people, if it reaches a certain amount of backers, see, I don't know. It's like if you order more than one, does that count as one backing or two? I don't even know about that one. But as you reach a certain amount of backers, it unlocks figures. So these are the 3 figures. As all 3 of these are unlocked. Now Ripcord at 13,000 backers, Ripcord was unlocked. So he was unlocked the second day. I had Ripcord when I didn't have the Night Force Ripcord, but I had the original Ripcord. So this is a figure I loved when I was a kid. I was like, oh, okay, this is great. Okay. Now this is the video they did to Haslab. When they did the video, this is the mock-up of it and what it looks like and everything else. And it looks really good and decent. So this is a closer look at Ripcord. I mean, it looks like a really nice figure. And it kind of reminds me of the Ripcord that I got when I was a kid. And it unlocked at 13,000. It unlocked the second day. Then on top of that, this other character called Glenda Mulligan. Now here's the problem. I don't know who this person is. I have never heard of this person. But before you come at me in the comments, Dad, your aunt, do Google search. Okay. Supposedly this figure back in the day was released in like Brazil and Argentina. It wasn't an American release. And I'm like, okay. And she's supposed to be like an experimental helicopter pilot. Okay. So she's technically like Wild Bill, in my opinion. But one of the things that a lot of people was talking about this is that this body type is what Scarlet had. If you remember Scarlet from G.I. Joe, this is the body type, her body suit. This looks just like, it looks like the stars are here, because the Scarlet 3 3/4 figure has stars on the side of her arm. So this can be a future Scarlet figure body type, which is kind of cool. Or if I get this, I could just take her head off and slap Scarlet's head on. I do have a Scarlet, and then boom, I got my Scarlet, which is fine. And it locked 16,000. It was very slow for it to get to 16,000. It was so slow to get to it, but it actually finally did. Now, what happened was that a lot of people like myself like saying, "Hey, what about Doc? We want Doc. We want General Hawk." Then it was announced that General Hawk and Doc would be in the mainline releases. In my opinion, those two should have been in the first couple releases. Those figures should have came out this year, in my opinion. But no, we got like Bazooka, Recondo, Tiger Force Recondo, I'm like, I want the regular kind. Tiger Force Dusty. I'm like, no, we want Doc, but we're gonna get a Doc pretty soon, which is fine. So this is kind of neat. Don't know. I have no idea. Now, the thing is, my G.I. Joe knowledge is from like 82 to like 88, 89. Maybe a little bit to 92. Anything after that is spotty. So if she appeared in any comic books, I wouldn't know. Was there another TV show? I would not even know. Okay. Then the last one was Crazy Legs. Now, I barely remember Crazy Legs back in the day. Barely. But I think he had like a red, instead of a dark suit, like this is Night Force, I guess. It looks like a Night Force figure because Night Force, because like Night Force had like darker colors, but he had like red and gray, tannish. I'm kind of colorblind, so I don't know. But this looks pretty good, and it just unlocked recently, within the past couple of days. So now here's the thing. It's 19. So all four of these figures are unlocked. So let's go back up to the top. All right. $274. Now, let's do some math here. Okay. There's four figures altogether. Now, let's say, for example, those four. If you say retail prices, I'll say $30. The reason why, because like if you find it in a Walmart or a Target, it might be like $22 to $24. I usually find most of my G.I. Joe and all this stuff at my comic shop for $30. So you multiply that by 4, that should be $120. Minus 274, that means the actual helicopter is $150. Okay, so in my opinion, this is how I look at this. Should that helicopter be $150? Okay. Is that a good deal for that helicopter? $150 for the helicopter? I don't know. Now, that's just retail price. Now, say for example, since this is not going on retail, I'm sorry, not going on retail, it's going strictly, special order. I have a feeling that this will be at the con. I have a feeling this is going to be released maybe next summer to next fall. So which means that probably the year after next, one or two vendors is going to have this, and that price they're going to try to sell for like maybe $500 to $600. That in all four figures for $600. I've seen it happen. A couple years ago, there was the Sentinel, which is like a 3-foot figure. I saw it at the con the last two cons I was at. I saw it for $700. The Galactus $800 to $900, and that was like those are at that prices. So if I had have jumped on those then, because I wanted those two, instead of just him and Han, I would have had a Galactus sitting on my desk. Now, true, I don't have the room for this. I really don't have the room for it. I don't. But then again, I like the figures. So some people might say, well, just buy it, get the figures, and sell the helicopter for like $100 to $200. If I sold the helicopter for $200, which I probably could get, it technically almost pays for itself. But let's throw another little mix into this. Let's say this seller at the con, they'll probably sell each of those figures for like $50 a piece. $50 to $60 a piece. I'm not gonna lie. For example, this figure from Valorverse, it just got re-released, which I got now. The original one, they wanted because it was out of print. They wanted $60 to $70 for that figure. I'm like, I'm not paying for that. So let's say, multiply that by 4. That's $200. So those 4 figures will cost me $200 if I bought it at the con. And those con prices are a little bit inflated at times. So that means this Dragonfly right here will be $70-something. As you can see, now that's how I look at things, especially something like this. Now, as you can see, it's 1 hour and 28 minutes left on this crowdfunder. Full transparency, I backed this when I got home from work. I already backed it. So I'm like 24,333. Maybe I was the last one to back it up. I guess maybe. But the thing is, I did back it. Why? Because one. Now the reason why I did it, yeah, it's going to take me like a year to get it, and it's like $300 altogether. But as you can see, even if I had this in the box still, even though I can't display it at the moment, I can't display it. Just by getting Wild Bill, which was one of my favorite characters, and these three, well, these two definitely, Ripcord and Crazy Legs definitely, because I think I did have a Crazy Legs. I'm pretty sure I did, but I never had a Glinda. So I'm pretty sure. So right then, to me, that is technically worth it. That's worth it, in my opinion. So this is something, like I said, this thing started like early June, and as you can see, it has like 1 hour, almost an hour and a half left before it closes out, and you have no chance. So let's say, for example, I forgot this. I said, oh, I want to back this. I can't even get it. I'll have to buy it at a con for double or over triple the price. So this is one of the kind of situations where if you don't get it now, you pay for it more later if you want it. But that's my viewpoint on this. I did back it. Let me know what you think. Would you buy it? Would you do something like, now say for example, I know some of you rather read the comics and don't like toys and stuff like that, but if you had G.I. Joe action figures when you was a kid like me, and you had the Dragonfly, would you buy another Dragonfly? Now, before I let you go on this one person online I saw online was doing 3D printing, and they 3D printed a Dragonfly. They 3D printed a G.I. Joe classified a Sky Striker, which is huge. They did 3D printed a whale, which is the G.I. Joe hovercraft. They also 3D printed a Rattler. Okay? If I had a 3D printer, I could have bought that for $150. I could have bought the plans to print that for $150. And then I could just and then with the resin I could print out and make a lot of those, which is not a problem. But say for example, it's not licensed though. So which means you had to buy, if you wanted to make it just like this, you would have to either paint it or buy separate decals. Now, if I went to a 3D printer to have them print this out for me, they could have charged me $600, which is like two or three, which is almost like two of these. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to back it, because my other only option is like a 3D printer. And the thing is that the printer myself is cheaper, of course, because the resin it probably cost me maybe like $100 in resin, maybe. But then again, buying the printer and the time and energy to print all this stuff up to all this detail, it takes some time. Or if I get it print to order, $500 to $600. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Or something like this for $3 something. That's the reason now, since I put that in perspective, because I did see some videos about people who sell stuff like this. Because I was trying to see if I can get this for cheaper. And the problem is, through those people, there's nothing wrong with them. And they could do it. You know, I have no problem with their business model. But I cannot justify spending $300 to $500, like $500 to $600 on this. And it's basic. at least this gives me extra features. You know, yeah, I could light, yeah, it lights up, yeah, okay. You know, give me blast effects. You know, that's cool too. But that's cool. Now, with that being said, yeah, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I just had to get it out there because this was on my mind for the last couple of weeks. And I kind of wanted to do some kind of representation of this. But other than that, if you like this kind of content, let me know. Well, I'm going to do content slightly like this in the future, of course. Don't get me started on the WWE WCW stage. Don't get me started on that one. But anyway, with that, but then again, also now I'm going to tell you something. $300 is for U.S. Other countries, you had to tack on an extra $200 at least. So for people overseas, probably $500. So put that in mind, okay? With that, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you think.